say that I know anyone personally with Down syndrome. I've had probably just interactions briefly in passing with people, but nothing really personal, no personal connection.
My mom's uncle had Down syndrome, and I would see him a couple times a year at family parties, but other than that, I don't have too much personal interaction. He was also a lot older, so I was an older stage of Down syndrome.
I don't know anyone personally with Down syndrome. There are people in my high school class that had it, but I didn't interact with them very much.
I don't know anyone personally who's had Down syndrome. I've interacted with people who've had Down syndrome through just various service places or events organizations, but it's been limited to those events that I've attended. Perfect.
I know that a lot of people abort kids with Down syndrome, and that there used to be 90% more people with Down syndrome than there is today, and because of that reason, I think that having a child with Down syndrome would be a lot of time and work, and it would kind of become the focus of someone's life as a parent.
I'm not sure the exact scientific cause, but I know that you get an extra chromosome. I forget which number it is, and there's certain features that are associated with Down syndrome, different facial features or webbed fingers, I think, or a thumb feature is something. Additionally, I know that they usually have developmental delays or intellectual disabilities or a lower IQ.
I know that you're born with it, and it's an extra chromosome, and it affects your facial features and your intellectual abilities and maybe physical disabilities, maybe.
I know that it's a chromosomal disorder, so I've learned about it through my classes and kind of the cause and maybe physiology of it, but past that to the social or familial impact or impact maybe on the person individually, it's probably limited knowledge. Know that they can continue to live a somewhat functional life, believe in often sometimes into 20s and 30s. Yeah, that's the extent of my knowledge of that.
I don't know, that's a hard question because I feel if that would be the only thing I was testing for, maybe not, or maybe I would just to be prepared, I guess, but I wouldn't consider getting an abortion or anything.
Sure, I'd know about the health issues before the child's born. I don't think I wouldn't do anything. I just know about it, I guess, so you get better prepare.
Yes, I think so. Just because I don't think that I have what it takes to raise a child with Down syndrome, and I know that it's life-changing for a lot of people, but I'm not a very compassionate person, and so I just don't think that I would be good at it.
Sure, as long as if the testing doesn't carry any risks along with it, or significant risk, be cost-benefit analysis of it, but yeah, I'd be willing to.
I don't know, it'd probably be a shock at first, but I think I would get really nerdy about it and go read up about Down syndrome and get all the parenting books and whatnot, and just try to be as prepared as possible for the new lifestyle, I guess.
First, I would be upset when I found out, and then probably angry and selfish and be do I really want to deal with this for the rest of my life? But I feel with support around me, they would be it's gonna be okay, and then I think I would be okay with it eventually, but it would be hard at first.
I don't think I would be very upset. I think I would just try to look at it bright side, and they have given the best possible life I could possibly give anybody, so I just kind of treat them the same and hopefully raise them as happy as they can be and put them in the best possible situation.
I would just kind of take it in stride, I guess, just work with it, it's like a learning curve, but it wouldn't change anything once it's happened, you know. So
I think I'd be pretty devastated at first, because obviously that child's gonna have a limited lifestyle. But at the end of the day, if it was me personally, it could still be my child. So still, have love for that kid and try to do the best I could and make sure that they had a very fulfilled life.
I think, honestly, people are maybe scared of the challenges it would take to raise a child with a disability. There's a lot more that's required in terms of parenting, as well as, I don't know, maybe just the fear that your kid will be different from the other kids. I know, like, that would be my fear as a parent, is like always being concerned that your kid isn't being treated the way they deserve to be treated. Yeah, and maybe just like extra cost concerns if there's any like healthcare concerns there too.
People probably decide to terminate the pregnancy because of just like the responsibility they would have later in life, and like I think some people are like, oh, you have kids for 18 years and then they kind of grow up and do your own thing, but with a child with Down syndrome, I feel like it's kind of a lifelong commitment and responsibility to have.
I could see people thinking that it may be just an overall like financial difficulty on the family. Like maybe they just think that they will not be able to adequately care for the child and be able to pay for the medical expenses. I could see that being kind of a logical reason as to why I terminate the pregnancy. So that would be my first impression.
either they don't think that they can handle having a child with disability, or that they have like a plan, like a set plan for their life that they don't want to disrupt.
I know sometimes they have schools for people, like with my aunts, a couple people in my family are special ed teachers, and they work sometimes with people with Down syndrome. So I think that they have like schools and services in schools with people with that. And I know that, I mean, if people right there who are like my aunt are working there, then I think it'd be a pretty good place that could help them grow to reach their maximum potential and hopefully live a good life.
I'm not really familiar with services, I guess. I would guess that there is some sort of like school program, maybe especially in public schools, or like different tutors available to like work with kids one-on-one, since they probably do have some sort of intellectual disability. But yeah, I'm not super familiar with all the resources out there.
I honestly don't know. I'm assuming that they have like schools for children with disabilities as like a broad spectrum, and I guess Down syndrome people would go there. Once they become adults, I honestly have no idea. Except for like work protection, like I don't forget what that law is called, that like protects you from disability discrimination.
I don't know of any like specific names that I could tell you of different Down syndrome charities. I think there's some kind of there was some kind of chromosome disorder organization I've been hearing of recently, but I'm sure that I could reach out and find those places. I don't think it would be hard because I think I've seen enough in passing, but I couldn't tell you any off the top of my head.
Well, I know just from high school there's like a, at least in my district, there was like a school that was like kind of like college, but not really, for those with like Down syndrome and like other similar disabilities, where they could go and learn like life skills that maybe at one point they would be able to go and live in an apartment or something. And then I think also there's like, I don't want to say daycare, but like a place where they can go during the day if they can't have an aide with them to like watch them and like make sure that they're okay.